welcome back. You're still tuned in to Funtastic Fridays. We're in the final half hour of the show. And I see some debates going on the live. Our persons are saying, listen, imagine falling in love with somebody, but then they're not a part of your religion. Like, you know, then people are asking each other who should determine what is unevenly yoked. And a whole conversation is going on. So if it is that you want to join that conversation, come on the Instagram live Funtastic 93 FM, all right? But before the break, let me just highlight what we discussed. We didn't get very far, but tip one was to discuss what your finances are really like before getting engaged or married. You have to basically highlight all the issues, whatever you owe, whatever you potentially owe, whatever you never know so you owe,
whatever asset you have,
you can't keep them something that's
your
secret.
Name?
Yeah.
You are now one. That is the aim of marriage. So if you don't want to get married, as Jada said a few weeks ago, that is fine, right? Tip number 2 was, do you want children? And if so, how will we raise them? That's a discussion to have.
And how many and when?
Exactly. And then number 3, what does religion mean to you? Because you guys may have different religions. How will that affect the child?
And
will there be one that is dominant? I remember seeing Jilly, I believe, had said earlier, say, my child will be Christian until them turn 18 and them decide, right? Will that be okay with her partner, you know? So stuff to consider and discuss, right? All right, number 4, and this goes back to finances. How will you split your finances?
How the money go?
So it's likely you probably already split a lot of bills together.
Nice.
Make sure you're happy with this arrangement. The fairest way to split things is usually in relation to what you each earn.
Definitely.
That's the fairest way. So most people like to 50-50. That don't work in out of relationships because chances are one earns more than the other.
Yep.
Right? And if you don't want to make the relationship happy, as I said, ensure it's something you're happy with. Right? So sometimes men, even if them earn less, they'll be like, I'll pay more because I'm the man. If that works for you, that works. No, some people think it's unfair.
No, I'm saying if you say 50-50, it must be 50% that what you will get. I'll make it 50% that what me I get. I'll put it together.
No, sir.
Mecca Jamaica said, ladies, find out if the assets is in the man's name or his mother's.
All right.
I just told y'all.
Right? And then, yes, the fairest way to split things is usually in relation to what you each earn. You also need to decide if you want a joint or separate bank account. That's a discussion, yes.
Boy.
If you've decided that you want to have children too, it's also really essential that you discuss how any maternity or paternity leave will be covered or paid for, or what child care you may need or how it will be paid for. So some stuff that we need to discuss, who's going to pay for daycare, who's going to pay for certain stuff, especially because I see a lot of that in relationships where they're not together.
It's going to be taken care of.
So basically how you're splitting it overall, right? And also if there's even a split, because you do have some relationships where the man just say, listen, your money or your money.
That's what I always
And
do.
then you have some wives who are the breadwinners and their husband is a stay-at-home dad.
I need to find me one of those.
Or, you know, whatever it is. So guess what? Nobody not judge nobody's relationship. What works for you. And I remember seeing videos saying that instead of bashing people for what they want, what they believe, what they desire for their life, find somebody what work. What can work with what you want. Nobody sit down and judge everybody when I agree with you.
People have different preference.
People have different.
Find what works for you.
What I'm saying, every whore.
Every whore.
Every whore have them tick a bush. Right? So if it's not your tick, go on, boy, your business. Right?
At the bush.
So another discussion to have is number 5. How do you feel about your sex life?
Wow.
No fun, no one talk about them. Something ask question.
Never done it before.
Exactly. So I said some stuff I've never considered.
I don't know how to feel.
Right? So this might feel like a tricky conversation to have, but it's really important. Are you both happy with your sex life? That's a good question. Is anything missing? Would you like to try something, or do you feel like something isn't right? Valid questions.
And people, don't be afraid to push the envelope.
Hold on, careful with where you're going.
No, I'm saying find out as much as possible about each other.
What I was going to say. Okay.
About each other's sexuality, because
that's a part of it.
Pop up in your life.
Yeah, so discussions. Things might pop up, right?
What I heard today on this talk, whatever it was that
talk show.
No, it wasn't a talk show. It's one of those things.
Discussions.
Right. And they were talking about the Smiths, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. And Will had gotten married and divorced, and he didn't want to do that again. That divorce was never an option for him after that.
Yeah.
And he married Jada, and what it seemed like was that it was either he would succumb to what she wanted, or they would divorce. So it led to the openness,
The entanglement.
Right? Her pushing for polygamy. And they showed you how much it tried, like it destroyed the relationship with him and her son, and how much it took a toll on his family. And he spoke about it, and he just never saw that ever happening. But he just does not want to get divorced.
Well, that's something you have to discuss, right? Because the reality, guys, is that most people, you might pretend. I'm going to be very honest. So when it's coming to the bedroom time and all them something there, but you need to actually have discussions.
Talk
and that's
up your
another
heart.
reason also marriages fail.
Definitely,
Because uno compromise for certain stuff or pretend to enjoy certain stuff. Maybe for other reasons, for women especially. I know no for no. Probably not happy in the bedroom, but then guess what? Because the man have certain job or the man have certain assets or
Because
he
there are
gives you
certain
certain
benefits.
things, then you stick around. And same thing vice versa. You're
And
probably
then end up up on the side for the sexual.
and that is
affection.
where the whole extramarital
where
relations
the
come
cookie
in
crumble.
because boy, this is who I'm enjoying and stuff. Talk up.
Yeah.
Because saving yourself time, energy, and time is something. I remember somebody keep pointing out you can never get back time. You can get back your money.
Sometimes.
You can get back all kinds of things, but time you cannot get back.
True.
Right? So have those conversations, right?
And people, I said it on this, when Kim mentioned number one, I said it right through for each of the answers. When you're having these discussion, this is not the time to be shy.
To shy or
not the
easily
time to be,
offended and stuff.
judgmental, or not the time to be, afraid of what the other person is going to think about you, because this is somebody you're going to be with. This is somebody you're planning to spend your life with.
Which is a serious
so nobody hide
decision.
nothing from them.
Right.
So if you like to do the activity in the freezer, that is your local fruit. Yeah.
What?
Talk to them from early.
And as Lionel pointed out earlier, have you both been totally honest with your sexuality? That's another one as well. So if you do not believe in premarital sex, make sure you speak to your partner about your needs
Right.
and wants before getting married.
Same.
So that's another thing as well. Now
So-
wait till you're in the relationship and all in love now and everything, and then
Alright.
you're gonna say, boy, I don't really want to have sex till I'm married. That's
Yeah.
something you talk about.
Let them know
From early.
that the
Believe
cat
in
will
this
be
thing.
in the bag until the wedding.
And as Quilly said,
I
best to
believe
talk up and be honest. Quilly said women tend to protect the man's ego so they don't talk the truth. But are you really helping yourself?
True. Ladies,
And then too cute said freezer.
set good like the ice in the freezer.
freezer.
But anyway, people, ladies, I think as Kimmie said, Kim highlighted this one. Ladies often are the ones who will downplay their satisfaction. But ladies,
It not help nobody.
faking it does not help anybody.
Uh-huh.
Till you make it.
Especially if this is the person. It can probably a regular one on road. If I saw not living a life, fine. But if this is your husband or your wife,
It not help nobody. I will
It not
keep
help every
reiterating.
relationship. Yeah.
It not help nobody, right?
Wow.
So, if you're going to marry this person, you should be able to talk frankly with them about what you want and like sexually. Sex is not the most important thing in a relationship or marriage, but it does have its own place. It does have an importance. When your intimacy needs are not compatible, it won't be easy for the two of you to enjoy lovemaking. So intimacy needs now, depending, as Lionel said, probably freezer need for the mix sometime.
Right.
But like cool, so you're not going on a freezer. So if that's the case, talk about it, because guess what, that marriage not gonna work.
Ladies-
So when Lionel ready for freezer time and you're not going to freezer,
Right.
he's gonna be unhappy.
ladies, do not try to hide the nightstand when the man is there. Make the man know, say, this is what you are working with.
Uh-huh.
And he knows that, at sometimes you might go to the drawer to get a helping hand.
Exactly, because some
All right?
men don't want that.
Right.
Some men don't want that their partner. I've heard a guy say, what you need that for?
Exactly.
Me there,
You
right?
have to talk about
And you
your
have
like.
some men who are okay with that. They're like,
Hide it.
yo, that's going to increase stuff. I can defund stuff with that.
Yeah.
So it depends on your partner. Conversations is where it's at, right?
Hiding things will only end up kind of hurting somebody in the long run. I know, like, I hide this because I want to protect your feelings.
Nah,
It might
you're
be
gonna
rough
mash up
in
my
the long
feelings.
run.
Same way
Yeah.
with my finance, right? So talk about your sex life. Are you really enjoying it? Be honest about it. And if there's things that you're interested in or you want to try, and if you can talk about it, if you cannot have that conversation with your partner,
Then
you know with the wrong person.
You're not ready for it. No, not only there with the wrong person.
Are you not ready for a relationship? Are you not as comfortable
Right.
as you think
With that type
you
of
are with that
relationship.
person? And
Yeah.
married, you should be so comfortable with your partner, right? Easier said than done. But guess what? And I think a part of it, because I can speak from experience, I don't like being vulnerable. I don't like putting myself in a position to be judged.
It's not easy.
Or to be evaluated or to be like, so Kim this day. No, I don't really want that. So I guess I'm going to keep my business to myself. But if it's in a relationship, you need to talk about these stuff because at some point, you're going to be you.
And then,
It's you. So it's going to come out one day.
And you mentioned it a couple weeks ago. It's gonna take work. So if you don't want to put in the work, you're not ready for the relationship.
Because one time my girlfriend introduced this new position. Boy, my back never feel normal for a week.
But it was fun though, wasn't it?
Right? Link him after the week.
No, man, fire.
And find out, if the back better now. I hope she made a couple
Well, he's
strong back.
alive.
I hope you get some strong back for
because
help.
we asked him, did you die though?
But did
No.
you die though?
So clearly it was
Right.
fun.
So another thing to discuss. What about each other's family?
Wow.
So that's something you need to talk about. Something I've not even thought about
Are you-
questioning.
are you
Your family, the
close?
family. So my
What is
accept or no.
interaction like? Yeah.
Exactly. So for a lot of couples, family obligations change once you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Do you or your partner have any family traditions or commitments you've always observed? How do you or your spouse fit into those? If either of you already have children, which is the norm for most relationships, it's essential that you discuss your feelings and expectations of family life around this. It's important when you're sharing a life and a home that everyone feels heard and considered, and that you make time for the two of you as a couple, as well as for all of you as a blended family. So the whole baby mother, baby father thing and whatever there, we're not find ways to work around it. It can't be that you're there with this person and, boy, I'm not liking baby mother. I don't want to hear about her. She's
It's
in
gonna
his
take
life.
a toll on the relationship.
It's not. And every time the baby mother call, but guess what? She's in his life. And for the baby father, same thing. Right? And that's why I go back to a statement I made many weeks ago that even without taking the religious reasoning behind it, I understand more and more why the whole sex before marriage was something God said, try to keep to this. Right? I think
No
we'd have
sex
fixed.
before marriage.
Yeah, no sex, sorry. That's why the logics behind it makes sense. I would have saved a lot of these discussions. We'd not be talking about blended family and all that. Yes, it would still happen, potentially because marriages do break up and then you still already have the kids.
Really and
But
truly.
it would have been way less.
The main thing is that sex is very distracting.
Yes,
Very
that's another thing. Right? So stuff to consider as well. So you also need to consider how much each other's families will be in your day-to-day life. Will your new mother-in-law provide childcare? Does your father expect to move in with you one day? How do you feel about the different family situations you might face? So, as Quilly said, I can't date a man who doesn't have a good relationship with his mother or sisters. Quilly said how he treats his mother and sister is a reflection of how he'll treat me. And Mecca said the back good still, Yeah.
Right, see.
Yeah. Only a week he was out, with a commission for a week,
And in life, sometimes we might fall, but when we get up stronger.
Exactly. So you need to have that conversation. What about each other's family? How does this affect our relationship? How will it change? Because those are stuff to be considered. Number 7, how important is your career? This is a conversation that couples need to have with each other, right?
And where you plan to go in your
Exactly, because for some people, a job is just a job, while for others, it gives them a sense of purpose. So be clear about how much your job means to you. It might keep you tied to a certain area or mean you'll never settle in one place for too long. It might mean you may never earn much or that you work unpredictable hours. It may mean that you just need to be very clear about how attached you are to your job, because there may be times in married life where you might need to move,
Yeah.
stop working for a while, or become the main breadwinner. these things may come up. So understanding what someone's career means to them is important, right? Because it might also be a case where life changes and you're always tied up at work, weekends come, you work 24/7. You know, eventually one partner might start to resent the other because they're saying, boy, you spend too much time with work. But then you never had the conversation about how important my career is. How important is it that we make family time probably over career, or, you know, those discussions determine, can we move on to an engagement?
Also, there might be a relationship where, you know, it happens, the man says, listen, I don't want my wife work, you know.
Yes.
So, and the lady, either she still have to
they work with it or not.
Make him unhappy, or she drop her the work to make him happy, but she herself unhappy. So
exactly. So it's really important that you both know just how much the other loves or hates their job. You also need to discuss how much work encroaches on your life together at home. If someone often stays late at work, is that a problem? If they have to spend time on the weekend or on holidays dealing with work issues, is that okay? How do you feel about that? So those are things you need to consider, because you do have some jobs that are basically 24/7. Is that something that you can deal with, being married to somebody like that? You might all out and somebody call them, oh, babe, I have to go work, important things happen, you know, stuff like that. It may even be in a very sensitive moment with you guys, probably in the middle of an argument. And let's say he's some technician for some big company, oh, you know, system gone down, money for run go work. Those things happen, right? So you need to have those discussions. Number 8, what are your non-negotiables? What's the stuff that you feel is so important to you, you never ever want to compromise on it?
And the lady started listing those earlier in the show. I don't know you this. You know, want a man with this.
Yeah.
You want a man with that.
Right, Chev officials say, always there work. Sometimes work is a safe haven for many. And that actually is part of a problem, you know.
And that's not healthy.
That's a part of a problem, because a lot of people know they find reasons to stay at work to avoid the relationship. If you avoid your relationship, you have a problem.
Something right. And then know them end up there with somebody at work. What?
Exactly. That is where the whole work wife, work husband, all them something there. No, but we have to understand where these things start. So I'm glad that you point that out. So if you're in a situation where when work done, you don't really want to go your yard, you have a bigger problem. I have a conversation to be had. Instead of keep hiding out at work or find every reason for not go home, because a lot of marriages are like that. You need to confront the problem, and if this just not working, you know, so just say, listen, this cannot work and we can't make it to an engagement. That's really it. Right? So you need to talk about your non-negotiables. What is important to you, what you don't want to compromise on, and is it okay with your partner? Right. For example, if you have a long-standing tradition of going on holidays with your friends once a year, does your partner know how much that means to you? If they always have Sunday lunch with their mother, are you fine with that? Probably you want some Sundays too. You know? Have a conversation. It's not about judging and blaming, but have a conversation. Can I work with this? Can I not work with this? Next one. What is a deal breaker for you? So you have non-negotiables, stuff that we need to work on, but deal breakers are different. This now could be, because non-negotiables, no, guess what? Sometimes you might have a little wiggle room. Might say, all right, guess what?
Non-negotiable is not negotiable.
Well.
And then deal breaker is a deal breaker.
It's very similar.
I like it.
Everyone has different deal breakers. Be open to what yours are and listen to what theirs are too. Make us careful of work husbands.
See it there?
And Chev said, realize I couldn't compromise on something for the rest of the relationship, so I left. Exactly. If work was a safe haven, there was a sign something wrong with the relationship.
Something need to fix up.
Right? So back to the deal breaker. Decide together whether you can deal with those or if, well, I think I lost. Be open about what yours are and listen to what theirs are too. Decide together whether you can deal with those or if they seem reasonable to you. You should also discuss what would happen if your relationship did end.
Yeah.
Yes, this is something, as much as we don't really want to be negative Nancy's, you need to talk about it. What does divorce mean to you? How would you split your assets? And what would any custody arrangements look like? Not all marriages work out, that's the reality. And if you agree to the basic idea and terms when you're in a good place, it will make it so much easier to deal with it if it does end.
And I make no sense me sign a prenup, because I know nothing.
Right? We now go down the line there. Okay. This one though is a big one. What constitutes cheating? That's a discussion that needs to be had, because enough of have a little
Gimmicks.
And a little, that's not really cheating. Or if I flirt 2 times, it's healthy to flirt.
I was just
I've
over at her
always
place
heard
for
that.
the night. That's
All I
not
did was tell her,
cheating.
say, man, you look good every day, all
It's not
day.
like- it's not like she's pregnant.
Right? Exactly. I would say I'll go choops. The kiss never lasts past 2 seconds, so it don't really count. No. So they need to discuss what constitutes cheating, because apparently everybody have different definitions
And then
of what cheating is.
also need to talk about whether or not the cheater or being anybody cheating will be either a deal breaker or a non-negotiable.
Yes. So what do you class as cheating? Some might see looking at porn as a betrayal. Others might not mind.
Come watch.
Be really clear about what you consider cheating and discuss it together. So as Quilly said, all of the above constitutes cheating. And Mecca say heart emotes equal cheating. You know why you send a heart emoji because nobody, not even your mother.
Suppose I say God bless you. You
God
can't
loves
ask that.
everybody. Don't put the heart emoji.
Send the pink
Right out heart.
Pink even worse. Probably pink our favorite color.
Right? No, but it's a serious thing though. Understand what is cheating, because some people think flirting and sending out occasionally, or it's like some people like to play with fire. Them say certain things, but they know that they're flirting, but it's like not outright flirting, and they think that's okay.
Yeah, some people are borderline with it.
Borderline, so them not outrightly do it, and they're gonna use that as an excuse. You never see me touch her, me never.
Me you could have done, you know.
Yeah, yes. That's an exact statement. Boy, man, you could have done,
Like,
what
don't you have
for?
somebody?
Exactly. Exactly. So I love that.
Yeah.
And the final bonus 2 points, because we just touched 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
Discuss what goes on social media.
All right.
This might seem trivial, but trust us, social media needs to be discussed. Are you both happy sharing details of your life on
Right.
social media? Are there some elements you'd prefer to keep private?
Yeah.
What are they?
Are you
if you
posting?
have children, will they be posted on social media? If you have a conversation, you can't get up and we get actually, say engaged to me. I'm say, engaged. Probably ruin the whole moment.
Just got engaged.
Right? Because probably the husband to be is like, babe, I'm in your moment. This like you never answer me yet, right?
You take the ring, put it on. Oh.
Right? You don't answer me yet. Stuff to consider, right? So actually discuss what goes on social media.
Yeah.
And the final one, discuss what's your love language. It sounds a bit silly,
Nope.
but actually it's really important to know and understand. If
do you
love for
want
you
to
is
love?
demonstrated by gifts and for them it's by words, it's crucial to understand this so you both know how to make each other feel appreciated. The 4 main ones are gifts, touch, actions, and words. Discuss which one is most important to you, and you'll understand way better how to love each other. An easy way to do this is to ask, when do you feel the most loved by me?
All right. There you have it, people. Talk the thing with Kimmie, Kim.
Yes.
Things to consider before getting engaged
or married.
All right, just going to quickly run through the flow text messages. We have this one coming in. This person does a show off right now. $147 balance. We're moving all around. This one says 10 cents. This one says 9 cents. And too cute with the winning, she sends 3 cents. Big up to you. People have a fantastic weekend. Next week, more fun, more excitement.
Yes.
You don't know the shit.
Tune in. Stay safe, guys. Next week.